Sweet. Hello, everyone. I am so glad you all are here for our healthy living call, our healthy living talk. We are partnered with Juice Plus, and we're just super passionate to share health with you, to share prevention, to share about the power of food. And we know that everyone is on their own health journey and everyone's learned different things along the way. And this is just one thing we've all learned is the power of whole food nutrition. And so that's what we want to share with you. So I have this slideshow up just because I think graphics are really nice when you're on a Zoom. When we do events in person, we don't usually use slideshows, but it's nice when you're on Zoom and it's a short and sweet event. So I am hopefully going to be able to, here we go, move to the next slide. So here's how we're going to start. We're going to start with some bad news, and then we're going to get to some good news. So stay with us. I promise there's going to be positives in this, but you gotta kind of start out with the bad to kind of see the why behind whole food nutrition. So we are an unhealthy culture in a lot of ways, unhealthy society. I don't know the right words to say, but as you guys can see right here, 1 in 4 people will die of heart disease. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 3 men will develop cancer. 1 in 3 people will have diabetes by the year 2050, and 1 in 5 children is obese. And Dr. David Katz, he's a phenomenal doctor. I've listened to some of his health talks because I'm into stuff like that. He says our children are more harmed by poor diet than exposure to drugs, alcohol, and tobacco combined. And I remember when I first heard that quote, and it really got me thinking, kind of why poor diet? And when you think about how many times a day anyone on here that has children that we have to feed our kids, sometimes we just want to throw them something from the cupboard. And it might be a granola bar with like 30 ingredients in it. I don't know about you. Sometimes I'm like, I like bought the granola bar and I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't look at the label of this one. It looked really nice by the marketing on the, the front of it and the back. I'm like, how are there 30 ingredients in this small little bar? So definitely not perfect over here, but I've realized that poor diet is like we have to constantly fuel ourselves. We have to constantly fuel our kids' bodies. And we are exposed to poor diet a lot of the times. We're exposing our kids when they're at school, when they're getting snacks. It can just be easy to give them unhealthy things because it's quicker sometimes. So that's kind of how it made sense to me. Okay, there. Okay, next one. Also, a little bit more of some sad news. Environmental toxins are increasing. So this is kind of a cool little picture, but in short, some examples are listed below. And that's pollution, that's water contaminants, pesticides on our food, prescriptions, over-the-counter drugs, chemicals, certain skincare products, hair care products, plastics. I mean, I'm sure you guys can name some too. Usually when we host these events in person, we get a good discussion going. And this is once again not to like overwhelm you with, oh my goodness, there's so many toxins. Like this is stressful. We promise we will offer a solution at the end of this. But truly, they're just toxins everywhere. And so it's just something to be aware of, kind of maybe take one thing and say, where can I be aware of this in my lifestyle? Okay, so on top of it, the food, the toxins are increasing and the food quality is decreasing. So not good news still, but I promise we're going to get to some good news. More than 50% of what Americans eat is processed. And so I don't know, when you think of that 50% of your diet, that's like half your day of food, half the month. If, when you eat 6 months out of the year, when you think about 50%, you're like, oh no, that's not good. And there's preservatives in food, there's flavor enhancers, there's synthetic vitamins, growth hormones, GMOs, pesticides, artificial flavors, artificial colors. There's a lot of things that are why our food quality has decreased so much. And so you can kind of see in some of these pictures, they're painting the vision for just what's going on, even to our whole food, even to our fruits and vegetables. Like, I don't know exactly if they're being injected, but I have read some things. So I'll just keep it there. If you're curious, we can get you a resource on that. But it's been really interesting learning about food quality decreasing because our diet is really important to protect our bodies. So broccoli could lose 50 to 80% of its key nutrients before you even purchase it at the store. And that's because it's shipped, it's boxed, it's crated across the country, especially if it's an off season for us who live in Michigan. And by the time it gets to you, it's been sitting there for a few weeks. So it's not picked when it has the peak ripeness in it. So as much as I'm all for buying fruit and vegetables from the grocery store, I do that. I'm not like anti any of that, but to be honest, it's probably lost a decent amount of nutrients, especially in the off season. And so there's a reason why sometimes what we're eating still isn't enough, even if we're eating a really good diet. So there's a lot of things we can do to be healthier, to be aware of the toxins, to be decreasing toxins in our bodies, to be eating well. And so these are just a list of a few of them. We can exercise, sleep 7 to 8 hours. That's a whole conversation we like to have at our events because I know some people, that is a hard one. We can manage stress. That's super important in our mental health. Drink water, use safer products around our house, and eat real food. So there's a lot of ways, and you're like, oh no, how do I pick one? So we're going to focus on just one tonight because we know that time is short and that's kind of our passion here. So I'm going to the next slide if my computer works. Okay. So we're focusing on fruit and vegetables. That's kind of our mission. And experts agree that most diseases are preventable with good nutrition. And I've heard that genetics are about 20% of the outcome of our health, and lifestyle is about 80% of the outcome. So genetics do play a role. I will never downplay that. But also know that 80% is our diet and lifestyle. So we can be empowered by that, and we can take control of our health in that way. So oxidative stress, I actually really like showing this slide because it gives a really good visual for what is going on in our bodies every single day, every single moment of the day. So we have bad news and we have good news. The bad news is oxidative stress causes aging and disease. Oxidative stress is continually going on in our body every day, every moment. You can't stop it. Like, it's just what it is. So because of that, we probably want to do something to prevent what oxidative stress is doing, right? So to prevent that, we need antioxidants in our body. And that's what fruit and vegetables have. They are absolutely loaded with antioxidants, and they protect our cells from oxidative stress. So think of this apple, and then think of the lemon. The lemon is the fruit and vegetables. It's the antioxidants that are in the fruit and vegetables. So it's squeezed on that one side. So when the apple's cut, it doesn't turn brown on that one side of the apple that you're looking at. And it's not turning brown because it's not having oxygen hit it. So that's what's happening to our cells. Our cells are protected with that antioxidant layer, I guess, on our cells every single day when we are continually consuming fruits and vegetables that are rich in antioxidants. And so sooner or later, we're going to break down if we don't support our bodies well. And antioxidants is the way at a cellular level to support our bodies. So a lot of people don't think about our cells. We just think, oh, I have a migraine, or oh, I have a headache, or oh, I have acne. But that's all happening internally at a cellular level, and cells make up every single part of our body. And so we want something, which is food, that's going to impact our cells in a positive way. And that's fruit and vegetables in this case that are rich in antioxidants. So that is why the news isn't that fruit and vegetables are good for you, because I think we can all agree, right? But that they could actually save your life because of that cellular protection through antioxidants. So that's a pretty big deal. And only 1 in 10 adults consume enough fruit and vegetables daily. So I'll be honest, I probably fall in that 1 in 10, like not 1 in 10, like I'm less than one. I'm in the adults that don't do it. There you go. And like even today I ate a salad and I was doing really good, but I'm still not eating the amount that I should be eating every single day. And we'll get to that in the next slide. Here we go. So we need 7 to 13 servings of fruit and vegetables every day. And if you're an athlete, if you're pregnant, you're nursing, if you have any sort of continual sickness or disease going on in your body, you need double to triple that depending on what's going on in your body. So I don't know about you, but I'm probably not going to eat 20 to 30 servings of fruit and vegetables every day, and I'm pregnant right now. Just because that's a lot. And I also need to eat other things. You know, we need to eat healthy protein, carbs, and fats for our body as well. And I heard a great analogy that our bodies are like a car. And so we need gas and oil. And the gas is the protein, carbs, and fats. And that's what keeps our body running. That's what gives us fuel to keep going. And then we also need oil in our vehicles. And if we don't put oil in our vehicles, sooner or later, our vehicles are going to break down. And that's how our bodies are. Our oil is fruit and vegetables. So sooner or later, if we don't put enough fruits and vegetables in our body, we're going to break down. We might be running and going and going. And then all of a sudden, like we start having migraines, or then we start having high stress, or then we start not being able to sleep at night, or then the list could go on. Yeah, there's so many issues I could list. But that's because we're not getting an adequate amount of fruit and vegetables. A lot of the time, we're not replenishing on our oil. And we need oil as much as it doesn't give us the immediate fuel. It protects us in a lot of ways. So why do we need so many servings? Because the produce is picked before nutrition fully develops. I kind of mentioned that earlier. It's transported thousands of miles. 90% of Americans don't eat enough servings of fruit and vegetables every day. And we don't get the variety from the rainbow. We usually get our favorites, you know, like we love broccoli and cauliflower over here, but we're not eating like Swiss chard and edamame frequently, you know? So it's just, when you think about it, we need that variety. We need peppers, and we also need elderberry, and we need oranges, and we also need papaya. Like there's so many things that our body craves, and we just can't get that much on a continual basis every single day. At least I know that I can't. And that's why I'm here sharing. So what if a lot of people do? They try to fill the gaps with a multivitamin because they know they're not getting enough whole food in their diet. They know they're not eating well. And so they're like, okay, a multivitamin. And I've totally bought multivitamins before, and it's super overwhelming being in the multivitamin aisle or vitamin aisle at the store. And you're like, which one do I pick? What one do I need? There's all these isolated vitamin C, vitamin B, vitamin D. So it's like, what do I do? Do I get every single one, or I'll just get the multi one because it's a little bit of each? And so 70% of Americans are doing that. They're trying to fill the gap with multivitamins. But multivitamins only have a few isolated nutrients in it. And so when you look at this slide, the slide on the left, I think it's your left, that is a multivitamin. And then the one on the right is the label of an apple. So an apple has about 10,000 phytonutrients in it, which is crazy. And they're still literally working on finding more. So I heard that in a talk one time. And so what's really interesting is apple has less vitamin C than most vitamin C supplements out there. But our bodies actually know how to use the vitamins in an apple compared to the vitamins in a vitamin C supplement or a multivitamin supplement, because our bodies were designed to absorb real food. So our bodies know what to do with it. Even though it's less milligrams, it's way more potent and it's impacting our bodies in a way more effective and efficient way because it's real food and it's how we were designed. And so there's a lot of research out there that vitamins can do more harm than good for our bodies. You can literally just Google it. Ask whoever invited you. We can send you a resource too. But it's crazy the articles out there because multivitamins, they're isolated. So that means they're not from the whole food source. So this is when I'll share. Actually, I'm not really going to share a story. I'm going to link that in at the end. But just for a little change, this is where Juice Plus comes in for me, because I was working at a cardiology office 7 years ago now. And I was aware that fruits and vegetables were good for you. The cardiologists were handing packets to the patients and saying, here, just read this, figure it out. And one of the patients came to me one time and said, how do I eat this food? Like, I don't ever eat fruit and vegetables. And I remember being like, I don't know, just like do what he says. And so that was honestly what got my wheels spinning on the power of food. Because I was like, okay, these doctors know it's important. They don't really have time to talk about it because they're there for other things. But they gave them a packet. So like they're trying their best, you know? And that's kind of what got my wheels turning on like food must be powerful for a cardiologist to hand them a packet on why fruit and vegetables are important. So this is where Juice Plus comes in. This is where a multivitamin has totally been replaced in my diet and some of the other people's diets on here that you'll hear, because it adds nutrition from over 30 fruit and vegetables. So the Juice Plus, the fruits and vegetables in the capsules, they're harvested at peak ripeness. So the nutrition is intact. That means it's not shipped and crated for 2 weeks. It's picked right away. And they pulverize it in different facilities. They have different farms across the United States they're partnered with. But it's basically pulverized. It's not juiced because the peels, the seeds, it's all in it. And then it's dried into powders at low temperatures. So the sugar in the water is taken out. I always tell people, think of like a blueberry that's cremated. And a blueberry is like, I don't even know, 98% water or something. I don't know, a lot. Someone can double check that for me. But if the water's taken out and the sugar of a blueberry, it's just going to be a little bit of powder that's left in there. And that's what's dried. And those are the fresh enzymes of the fruits and vegetables we're eating every day in real life. They're just putting it in a powder form for people to get in even more nutrition, to get in more variety. And so they're also put in chewables that are free for kids with any adult order. Ask whoever invited you. We can send you more info on that. You get it free for 20 years. It's crazy. They're like the most generous company ever. And then they also have a full spectrum omega blend with algae and berries and seeds instead of fish. So Juice Plus is really passionate about having a very narrow product line and finding needs that people have where they need more plants in their diet, where they need more oil to their bodies. And that's an area they found it. They wanted to replace a multivitamin and give people multiple vitamins from the real food. And they wanted to replace fish oils because fish actually get their omegas from algae anyway. So they want to just go right to the source. And algae is a plant. And so they found ways to actually bridge the gap and make vegan omega. And my kids love it because it tastes like a orange oily thing. They love it. Okay, so this is what's in Juice Plus. This is awesome variety. If you want to see the process on how Juice Plus is made, we would love to share that with you. There's so many videos. There's so many amazing doctors partnered with the company. This is juice. This is the omegas like I hits on heart, brain, skin, and eyes. It's cold pressed. So I always tell people if you're getting an omega, make sure it's cold pressed. So many of them are heated and all that oil is completely botched. It's ruined. It's doing nothing for you. Make sure you get a cold pressed omega, like super, super important. So why is Juice Plus unique? It's not a multivitamin, it's food. It actually has a nutrition label on the back of it. So it would be next to like the kale in the grocery store. It is made with non-GMO ingredients. It's vegan, it's kosher, it's dairy and gluten-free. It's NSF certified. So that means an outside company comes in and tests what's actually in it. And that means Olympic athletes can actually take Juice Plus. So I actually do know a few Olympic athletes now because of Juice Plus, but I didn't really understand that world until hearing some of their stories. And they're like, we can take Juice Plus because it's third party tested. Majority of vitamins aren't, and you don't really know what's in it. It's not really confirmed. And so it was really cool hearing them share their stories and why they saw value in it and why they knew it was safe. And it's also the most researched nutritional product in the entire world. So if you want more of those details, ask whoever invited you. They have a super narrow product line, over 20 years of research. They're super passionate about actually having research behind the product. They don't just want stories, which you're going to hear real quick. They really want people to know what it's doing in your bloodstream because it's food, and that's what food does. It does good things. These are all the different studies, all the different universities. It supports your DNA, oxidative stress, your quality of life, cardiovascular health, your lung health, your gut microbiome. It's amazing because that's what food does in the body. Food does all these things. It lowers your LDL, all the things. If you're into all of that stuff, we have abstracts, we have studies you can read through. And then this is our family health study where kids get it for free. Once again, ask whoever invited you. We have, I think, over 4,000 kids that have gotten it for free. So very, very passionate about that program. And then lastly, we have a plant-based protein that is absolutely delicious. It is low glycemic, so it stabilizes your blood sugar. That's my favorite thing. So my kids can eat it any time of the day and their blood sugar is not going to be spiked. It's going to be stable. So I will stop sharing and I will have Stephanie share real quick. You got about 3 minutes, girl, to share your story on why you saw value in Juice Plus.
Okay, ready, set, go. Well, my name's Stephanie. I am now a labor and delivery nurse, but been nursing almost, 10 years at this point. Starting out though as a nurse, I worked on a weight loss surgery floor and kind of just a generalized medical surgical floor. So I saw a lot of everything, and I was mind blown by honestly everything. The lack of nutritional education that I received in nursing school, as well as the lack of nutritional education that was given to patients on my floor. And it really just gave me a drive to learn about whole foods and nutrition and the power that that plays in the body and preventing diseases. So it made sense to me when I first heard about Juice Plus for looking at my like clinical career, because I was like, everybody needs this stuff. Why is no one talking about the power of nutrition? Let alone for myself personally, I was very into working out, and I would do carb cycling for fun. Literally no reason at all, but just just because it was a good challenge and I liked meal prepping and things. So a lot of times I just didn't eat fruit because of the sugar in it. And as Shelby explained with Juice Plus, they take out the sugar. So I thought this was cool because I could basically eat fruits without eating for the fruits and the sugar more so. And also, when my nights were crazy, when I was running around and barely had time to even go to the bathroom once, I could take a handful of capsules and know that I was at least getting some type of nutrition into my diet every day. So, fast forward like 5 years, I was preparing to prepare my body for a baby. And this was something I had already been doing for years. And learning about a prenatal vitamin versus Juice Plus. Again, I compared the two and it made no sense to take a multivitamin when everything you need for your baby is in food. That's why food was created and multivitamins just appeared someday. So it has the folate you need. The omegas are great with the DHA and EPA. There's everything you need for your prenatal nutrition. Of course, you still need food and lots of food and certain types of food. But I knew that it was a no-brainer because it had a lot of the nutrients that you needed that I knew I probably want to get every day eating, as well as the research behind the product. You want to give your kid the best thing there is, and nothing on the market is as researched as this, Juice Plus capsules. And the best part, and my favorite research with it is the bioavailability that it shows. So it shows that it's actually absorbed into your bloodstream. So it's great to take capsules and supplements and whatever you think is good, but if your body's not absorbing it, you're just peeing it out. It's called expensive pee. So knowing that this has been researched, it literally has been clinically proven to be absorbed in people's bloodstreams and raise certain levels more than other things, was honestly another reason that I chose that. And I knew if it's getting into my bloodstream, it's getting into my baby's bloodstream because everything talks and we share cells. So yeah, so fast forward to this day, I took it as my prenatal. I put it in my daughter's, when she hit 6 months or so, I would put it in her foods, sprinkle the capsules right on there. She will to this day eat a capsule. She'll just chew right into it. They're potent, as fruits and veggies are. They're not flavorless, but I don't prefer that. But they do have kids chewables, so we have her taking the chewables every single day as well. And I mean, you can just tell the girl will wake up at 5 a.m. and request tomatoes someday. And I'm like, this is because like she's been tasting these things literally since in my womb. If you don't know, babies swallow amniotic fluid and they taste what you're eating, literally. So you build your baby, you build the flavor of the amniotic fluids by what you eat, and your prenatal nutrition is absolutely everything when developing your babies. And then it's an easy thing to give your kids. It's a great car snack. It's literally like fruit snacks, but way better actual nutrition, not just food coloring and sugar and whatever else is in those other things. And it's just an easy mom hack is the best way I can put it. So as a nurse, as a mom, as a health enthusiast, I can't recommend this enough to everybody. So that's my story. Might have
Steph,
been more than
thank
3 minutes.
you. It's okay. I know I talked too long too. Kayla, do you think you can share your story in like a minute? Do you want to try?
Yeah, I think I can do that.
I know
Yeah.
you're short and sweet
Uh,
usually, so you got it, girl.
oh, thanks. Well, so I'm Kayla. I am a mom to two wild little boys, and Shelby introduced me to Juice Plus shortly after I had our second, and a lot of what Stephanie said really resonates with me. It just made sense. A lot of it just clicked, and I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't I want that for myself, for my kids? I had asthma my entire life. In high school, I needed to bring an inhaler to PE classes with me. And after having the kids, I'm blaming it on the kids. It really messed it all up. I was on like 4 or 5 different medications just to be able to breathe normally. And after, I want to say a couple of weeks of taking the Juice Plus, I was down to just 2 or 3 medications. I didn't need to use my inhaler every single day. And I'm like, this is the only change that I have made in my diet in my day. And it's already made this huge of an impact. I want to tell everybody about this because it's pretty fantastic. I didn't get that with the 4 or 5 different medications that the doctors were telling me, oh, try this. You got to try that. If that doesn't work, we'll change it up. We'll call in something different. And I'm like, I just want to feel better. So that was the main biggest thing for me, being
Yeah,
able to breathe normally.
I know. And that's amazing. And that's what Juice Plus has research on reducing inflammation, and asthma is an inflammatory response in our bodies. So I'm sure I'm going to cut it short. We're going to end it. Thank you for coming. If you have any questions, ask who invited you. We are super excited to pay this forward, and we hope you eat more fruit and vegetables, add Juice Plus if you want. And if you have anyone to share this with,